Hello and welcome to another edition of Meet the Red Cross. I'm Dave Griffith, the Executive Director of the Heart of Missouri chapter. And we've got a departure today for our show. Normally we have a volunteer and a board member that we have on the show, but today I felt like it was important for us to really begin the new year with introducing you and our audience to our staff that we have. And so I brought together two of my managers that I have that are on my staff to visit with you and kind of tell you their story, as well as talk to you about some challenges that we have in certain parts of the Heart of Missouri chapter. So I'd like to introduce and welcome Nancy Sell, who is our Community Development Manager, and welcome Clayton Kennedy, who's our Community Market Manager. So welcome to Meet the Red Cross.
Glad to be here.
I'm sure you all have watched many editions of this, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Good answer. All right. I want to begin this first off, as I do most of these shows, with really talking about you as an individual and really what your backgrounds are and kind of what brought you here today. And so Nancy, let's start with you. And you're a native Jeffersonian?
Yes, I am. I was born in Jeff City. Grew up here, went to school at Mizzou, and then came back. Great place to live.
Okay. And before you came to the Red Cross, tell us about your life before the Red Cross.
Well, a major component of my life is I've always been a helper. I've always wanted to help people. My previous job, I was in marketing, and I helped people with their advertising, helped businesses grow and develop and hire new employees, that sort of thing. So when I made the switch to the Red Cross, I wanted to be able to give back even more. I feel like I've been real fortunate in my life, and life's been good to me. And so I wanted to help other people have a better life. So that was my main reason for coming to the Red Cross.
All right. And we're going to talk about that even more. But Clayton, you might talk to us about your previous life as well and kind of what brought you to the Red Cross.
Sure. Well, I am also a native of Central Missouri, not actually Jefferson City, but Warrensburg, a little bit to the west, and grew up there. I ended up going to college in New York and doing some traveling, living in Montana, New Mexico. Before I came here, I was in the Peace Corps in El Salvador and Central America. It was a remarkable experience. I was there with my wife and helping families in any way that we could. Before that, I was working with a nonprofit in New Mexico, working on the ground with immigrants. And so, like Nancy, helping has always been something that's just so important, so central. I've never had a job that's not been, in a kind of humanitarian tilt to it. And the Red Cross is just a remarkable fit for me.
All right. In coming to the Red Cross, and Nancy, you began your career with the Red Cross in April, and since coming on board with the Red Cross, what has your experience been, and what was it lead up to the expectations you had when you came, or?
Well, the main thing that I've taken away from the last 9 months is how much I didn't know about the Red Cross. We think we know, we've heard of the Red Cross all our lives, and we have in our mind what that means, and I've discovered that there's so much more to the Red Cross than meets the eye. And I've been real impressed with the quality of the organization. The people are great. I love working there. I love working with the people, and I've just been real impressed with the whole organization. I'm amazed at the things that they accomplish on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Clayton, same question for you. You've just been here since October 15th, so you're approaching your 3-month anniversary with us. So
I am.
What about your first impressions?
Oh goodness, it's been remarkable. I've worked with a lot of nonprofits in the past. I was even the state director down in New Mexico before, but I've never been with an organization that's as well structured, that has its act together as fully, and thus is able to help others as fully, as efficiently, as broadly as the Red Cross does. I too, like Nancy, have been blown away by all the different lines of service that the Red Cross has that I did not know about. I appreciate it very much and do feel that it's a perfect fit for me.
When I made the introduction of each one of you, I kind of explained what your titles are. So let's just talk just for a few minutes about those. And again, Nancy, we'll start with you. Tell us what a community development manager is.
Well, to me, it's kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to the administrative part of the Red Cross. But my main job is to have face-to-face meetings with donors and potential donors to make sure that they understand everything that the Red Cross does, explain all our different services, some of the programs that we have that can benefit them, and then try to come up with a working relationship for preparedness or volunteerism, that sort of thing, and ultimately solicit gifts from these people to help support the activities of the Red Cross.
I know a lot of people think, and I have people that talk with me almost weekly that say, you know, in the economic times that we're in right now, you got to really be facing a lot of challenges. And we do have our challenges, but how have you found just Central Missouri here when you're going out and talking with people about donating money to the Red Cross, how have you been received?
Well, the Red Cross is a very well-respected organization, and it's been amazing to me how open people are, willing to meet with me and talk to me and tell me about why they support the charities that they do support. The people are very giving in this area. Everybody supports somebody. You know, everybody does something to give back a little bit. And I've found them to be very receptive to the needs of the Red Cross. They're always impressed with the things we do that they're not aware of. The stories that we tell, they understand how important what we do can be to the local community. There's a big tradition with the Red Cross in the local communities. Our chapters have been here close to 100 years in most of the communities, and so we do have a lot of history there. That's important.
Okay. Clayton, the community market manager, tell us kind of what your job is.
Sure. Well, my job has certainly some similarities to what Nancy does. In a sense, I'm here to help increase the public profile of the Red Cross. I work primarily in the northern 10 counties of our 21-county Heart of Missouri chapter region, and I attend public events. I work with high school and college clubs. I work with our leadership councils. We have a leadership council that meets in Fulton. We have one that meets up in Mexico and Montgomery City. We have one that meets in Columbia. And the members of those councils live out throughout our region and are working hard together to organize events and hold fundraisers and such. So I work with them. I work in our various offices. I meet with different groups, different businesses, different individuals to help them understand the full range of services that the Red Cross provides. And then in the end, we're working to build partnerships and community collaborations that can support the services that we provide.
In addition to being the community market manager and working in those 10 counties, you're also the branch manager for 3 of those offices up there. Mm-hmm. And that's in managing those and managing the volunteers that we have there. That's also part of your daily task and plan
Absolutely.
of work.
Absolutely.
And I think that one of the things, and I've said this many times before, that we have got such a strong cadre of volunteers that help us, and really without them and without what they do for us, it would be very difficult for us to achieve our mission. But
Absolutely.
one thing I want to talk on just very briefly is you mentioned high schools and colleges. Mm-hmm. And tell us about the new group we had that was just formed in Columbia at the high school there.
Sure. It's Hickman High School in Columbia, and in fact at 3 o'clock today I'll be heading over to meet with the executive committee of that club. It's a group of high schoolers initiated by a student who was passionate about the Red Cross and went online and learned that he could, of his own initiative, help create a club in his school. And so he recruited kind of a leadership group. They elected the president and vice president and the council. And then they have a group of about 25 different students who meet once or twice a month and work on different activities. One of the things that they helped us with quite a bit was our Holiday Mail for Heroes campaign. They made the publicity posters and such when we had our event in the mall to help gather cards to send to our deployed servicemen and women and our veterans here. So it's a wonderful group. It's something that we're working to build more of in the community. It goes all the way down, can be in middle schools as well. We have some interest here in Jefferson City from a middle school, and so might be working to build one there, and then certainly at the university level. And each different group can, there's different potential, different type of activities that they can organize, but the mission is really twofold. It's certainly to immediately help the Red Cross in the activities that they're doing and the funds they may be raising or services they're providing. But then it's also to train our next group of volunteers and staff and really help the younger generation know what the Red Cross does and prepare them to lead the charge in the years to come.
Okay. We're getting ready. We're going to take a short break here and we'll come back, and I want to talk with you, Nancy, about an event we've got that's coming up here in June, and Clayton, you've got an event that's coming up in March in Mexico. Mm-hmm. But for those of you out there in our audience, and especially those that are in high school and middle school age, and I even think we go down to grade school age. If you would like to look at forming a club and finding out what all it takes to have something like that happen, and really the expectations that the Red Cross has of those, please give us a call. Our number will be at the bottom of the screen at the end of this show, and we sure would like to talk with you and explain to you kind of what's going on with that. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back to talk with Clayton and with Nancy right after this.
So here are the keys. Congratulations, it's officially yours. I'm sure you'll have many happy years here. Except for you, because you'll be gone 3 years from now, struck down by the same disease that got your father. So you won't be around for them. And sadly, it could have been detected early with a simple test, but you didn't have it. Okay, who wants to check out the backyard?
For a list of tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov.
I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Some things take a while to come back.
3, 2, champions!
But I've got some good buddies. I guess they're helping me figure it out. Being used to doing something with a cigarette makes it hard to do it without one. But if I can relearn to hang out with my friends without cigarettes, then I can relearn anything without cigarettes.
Relearn life without cigarettes. Free at becomeanx.org. A new way to think about quitting.
Welcome back to Meet the Red Cross. I'm Dave Griffith, the Executive Director of the Heart of Missouri Chapter, and joining me today on our show, we have Nancy Sell, who is our Community Development Director, and we have Clayton Kennedy, who is our Community Market Manager. And so welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Before we went on break, we were talking about some events that we've got that are coming up, and fundraising really is a part of both of your lives, that of what you do for the Red Cross. But Nancy, an event that we have that's coming up this year is Lifesavers. Might just tell us about that.
Well, Lifesavers is a very interesting program because it helps highlight all the different things that the Red Cross does through an awards program, and it's public nominate. We have 8 different categories of awards. Nominations come from the public, so anybody in our area can nominate anybody in our area. You don't have to be associated with the Red Cross to nominate or to be nominated. And what we try to do is help bring to light the extraordinary activities of everyday people that help save a life. So it is a fundraiser for us. It's the biggest fundraiser that we do in our chapter, but it's also a friend raiser. You know, we want to let people know who we are and how we can help, and that we support people.
And really the focus of that changed, because for a number of years it was the heart of a hero here in town, and then it was called the Day of Heroes here in town. So that focus changed last year, and how have you seen that being received here in the community?
Well, people have been real open to this program, the event is in June, it's the last Tuesday in June, and we have a barbecue at the pavilion over across the river. And it's just a casual, informal event where you can get to know other people that are interested in the Red Cross. And it can be anybody from the 21 counties that participate in that.
And really, we've got some outstanding people, and really they are heroes. But I think one of the things that we found out early on was that somebody that is a hero really doesn't want to be called one. And they do what they do because that's who they are. And being able to recognize them at this particular event, it's an honor for us, it's an honor for the sponsors that we have, and it's just the right thing to do. And so it's, you have the date for that, or when it's going to happen?
It's June 25th.
Okay.
It's from 4 to 7.
Right. We're looking forward to that again. And of course, Mid-Missouri is really known for barbecues, and so we decided to change that to a barbecue, and that it's been very well received, and because of partners like Hy-Vee, who donated all of our food for us last year, you made it a very successful event. Clayton, you've got one that's coming up. Actually, you've got something that's going on right now in Audrain and Montgomery County, as well as an event that's coming up in March.
Yeah, well, the biggest event that we have in Mexico and Montgomery City every year is not a Lifesaver Award, but rather a dinner auction. This will be the 15th annual Red Cross dinner auction that they've had there. It will be on March 9th at the Elks Lodge there from 5 to 8. And it's an exciting opportunity for different members of the community, different businesses and organizations to offer something unique to the Red Cross. And so we get lots of donations from around the area. This year we already have a creeper signed by NASCAR driver Carl Edwards. We have, just last night, a volunteer was talking about some massages and some bed and breakfast inns that want to donate to the cause. And so that's a really exciting event for us to organize, to put together. It'll be a big, wonderful meal there, and a silent auction as well as a live auction. Right now, in preparation for that, we have a campaign called Hometown Heroes. And in this sense, heroes are those who are able to raise funds for the Red Cross. Once people cross a certain threshold, we call them a hero. And that's really what they are, because the money that they are raising goes directly into the hands of those who need it. That's really what the Red Cross does. It focuses on people in their most vulnerable moment who've survived a disaster and who really need a hand up, and that's the hand that the Red Cross provides, and these hometown heroes are those who are helping us provide that. And so we will honor all of those heroes at the dinner auction in March. They get free tickets and will be honored at the event.
You know, we've talked a lot during this show, and there seems to be a theme that's going on here, and that's donations and fundraising, and really it is a big part of what we do. We are not funded by the government, so all the money that we have that provides those services that we provide comes from the generosity of donors, and those donors are individuals as well as corporations. And so really these two fine folks are actively engaged in that every day. And one other thing that we have, and funding that resource that the American Red Cross has, are United Ways. And the relationship that we have with the United Ways throughout the 21 counties that we have is one that we value a lot. And for those of you that have been reading the news here lately, you've noticed that in Boone County and Cooper and Howard counties, the United Way out of Columbia, we lost our funding there. We lost our funding to the tune of about $90,000. And so Nancy and Clayton have been given the task to try and help us to recover those funds, and we've been able to do that through a recovery committee. And Nancy, you might just talk with us just for a few minutes about that and how that's going.
Well, the whole idea of the United Way Recovery Plan was to put in place an active program to help us reach out to the community and increase our donations to try to make up for the funding that we've lost. So what we've done is identify a few people in the the Heart of Missouri, United Way area that can help us identify people that we should call on to tell our story, that can open some doors for us or make some phone calls to help us get appointments. Because we believe that once we get in there and we tell our story and let them know everything that we do to support our community, that they'll understand that the need is great and that they will step up and help us with that.
And how have you seen that help working, Clayton?
It's been wonderful. I mean, we're really just using this as a catalyst to help us reach out and build community partnerships in Columbia and Cooper and Howard counties as well. And people have been receptive. You know, we're wanting to create a stronger presence than ever there. Columbia is the largest market that we have in this 21 county region, and there's a deep potential to build the face, to build the awareness of the Red Cross, and this is helping us open doors and get out into the community to create those partnerships that in the end will serve the people who we serve.
One thing that I want to make very clear to our audience, that especially that's here in Jefferson City, and that is the relationship that we have with the United Way of Central Missouri is strong, and it's never been stronger. And the support that we get from them, and really what the United Way does in Central Missouri, as well as throughout the entire country. They're a wonderful organization, and we would never say anything bad about any of the United Ways that we deal with. And because they do provide so many vital services. So I want to make it very clear that there's only one United Way, and we had 8 United Ways that we were dealing with the Heart of Missouri chapter, and now we have 7, and we have a very good relationship with all of those. But one thing, Nancy, you talked about, and that's really getting out in the community, and that's something that we do in all 21 of those counties. And how has that experience been for you in getting into Columbia and in some of the other counties throughout the 21 that we have?
Well, it's been a lot of fun, Dave. The Red Cross, like I said before, is an awesome organization, and anytime I call on somebody, they are more than happy to meet with us. They're interested in our story. They want to know what we do and how we do it and how they can get involved and how they can help. So I've met a lot of really great people. I'm real impressed with the business community and how they step up and help each other. So it's been a real fun, real enjoyable experience.
I think that asking people for money is not something that everybody can do. And it's something that I think that what we found is that it's all about a relationship that you build with a donor or with a company or a corporation. And so, Nancy, how do you begin that relationship?
Well, I think all people have philanthropy in their heart. You know, people all are going to give somewhere, and they're going to give to somebody. So all you really need to do is be able to tell your story and let them see that side of it. I sit down and I talk with people and find out what they know about the Red Cross, if they have any past relationships. A lot of people, maybe their mother used to volunteer when they were a kid, and they remember her, putting on her Red Cross vest to go out and volunteer. I've talked to people who, in World War II, one man had a brother who had been injured in a car accident, and because of the Red Cross, he was able to come home and be with his family during that time. And he said, "I will never forget that and what they did for me." And so he is a consistent partner with us and will be every year. So it's hearing those stories that warm your heart, make you feel good about your fellow man, and make you feel good about the Red Cross too.
Absolutely, absolutely. One thing that I encourage all of my staff to do sometime early on in their career with the Red Cross is to be deployed either through a local fire or a national deployment. And Clayton, early on in your first tenure with the Red Cross, you had the opportunity to go to a fire. Tell us about that experience.
Sure. Well, I've actually been with a couple families who have recently lost their home and all of their belongings, and it's heartrending, of course. These are families who are facing one of, if not the worst moments in their lives. Everything that they'd been building is just poof, gone. And yet at the same time, it's heartwarming because there the Red Cross is, oftentimes first responders. They're standing in the yard as the house is burning, and they arrive with, or we arrive with comfort kits. We arrive with supportive wards to comfort the family, and then we arrive with a lot of concrete assistance for them. Depending upon what they've lost, if they've lost their clothes, we provide money for clothes. If they've lost food or their refrigerator or electricity, we provide money for that. And then we even provide a couple nights stay in a hotel so that they can help get back on their feet. And then finally, the Red Cross is a very trusted organization within the community and with other partners, and so we provide referrals to other agencies that can help with the longer term needs. And once another agency sees a referral by the Red Cross, they know everything that's happened. They know that the disaster has been verified, and they trust that implicitly and continue to support that family. So it's the first step, and it's the most important one to get a family back on its feet.
One of the things that I want to make very clear to our audience, and that is that the Red Cross doesn't go to a fire just because we hear there's a fire. The steps that happen is that when the fire department and the first responders, when they get there, they ask the family if they would like to have Red Cross assistance. And if they say yes, then they call our disaster specialists, and then they deploy volunteers that go out there. Mm-hmm. Same thing was true in New York. You know, that there was some press that we didn't respond quickly enough. And there again, we don't go to where we're not asked to go to. Mm-hmm. And so, but those that we do go to, we are. And our volunteers are the ones that really provide that beginning of recovery. Yeah. Well, I want to thank both of you for being here today. One of the things that both of you have talked about and what really is emblematic of why we do so well at what we do is because the people that work for the Red Cross have got servants' hearts. And both of you are emblematic of that, and it comes through, and I sincerely appreciate what you do and being partners with me and providing the services that we do here in Central Missouri. 21 counties, when you look at it, is pretty daunting. I asked Clayton early on to figure out how many square miles we have, and we cover 35,000 square miles. I'm sorry, 13,000.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like 35 when you're driving it, I can tell you.
It does.
13,000 square miles throughout Central Missouri. Mm-hmm. So, but thank you for being with us.
Glad to be here.
And if there's any questions that you have or ways that we can help you, please give us a call. Until next time, thank you for joining us on Meet the Red Cross.